Hi everyone, it's Linda. I wanted to talk a little bit about the coronavirus because it's all over the news. It's all the hype. It's the show that's unfolding in front of everyone, and it's just a worldwide event taking place right in front of us, and we're all part of it. So, if you're not under a rock, then you're probably catching some of the news, even if you don't typically watch news or you're getting it from alternative sources. But there's things that you just can't turn your head away from. And it's touched, I don't want to say our lives, but it's hit our backyard now. And it's the second one in Pennsylvania. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm in the western suburbs. And there was one in Bucks County, and there was also another case today that the person is quarantined. She was treated at Chester Crozier, I believe. And if you're from, it's Delaware County. And if you're from anywhere in this area, then, this is anywhere in that viewing area of the news around too, then, you've probably seen some of the things that are already taking place, such as sold out hand sanitizers. If you can find some still, just get a couple. Don't go crazy. Get a couple of them, but save some for other people. Don't go nuts. Water, purified water, is a little harder to find than the spring water, but things are starting to fly off the shelves now, and this is no joke. So this apparently has been going on in other countries, in other cities, and it seems to be where the virus goes, the panic kind of follows along, which is understandable, but it's come here now. And if you haven't been prepared enough to have a little extra water or, things like that, extra cat food, extra toilet paper, maybe. I've been hearing rumors and things around about different stores that are running out of toilet paper. And I saw firsthand myself today how there was, hardly any water on the shelves except spring water. The purified water, good luck finding. I did get a couple cases of it, but still, it's going to go quick. People are going to start panicking. The more in your area, the more the virus spreads in your area, those stores are going to have shortages. Now, if you've been paying attention and if you're awake and prepared, it's not panic time. It's just, go through your little checklist. If you're out of the store and you see something that you might be running out of, just go ahead and get it. But to have a sheer panic is one thing, to be prepared is something else. The thing is that I really want to talk about is the multidimensional aspect of what's happening and how that affects your own energy field. Because we know we have energy. We know we're a bioenergetic field surrounds us. We know these things. It's measured in science. So I want to discuss a little bit about the higher the light quotient and the higher your vibration. They say you can't catch things. Well, if you're not getting sick, if your immunity is extremely high and you're in that category, then bravo. But for those of you that may still be eating a lot of processed food all the time or not getting to the gym, guilty. If you're, I've been eating a lot more healthy, and I go on these, I want to say binges of time. And lately, I want to say it's been my body's just craving salads and blueberries and fish and things that is, healthy and good for me. So I'm lucky in that sense that my body's telling me what to do, and I'm listening for the most part. Except when I ate an entire bag of Swedish fish jelly beans the other day. Because that's a lot of sugar, and I don't usually eat a lot of sugar. But anyway, we're all guilty. We have our vices, don't we? So nobody's perfect. And I couldn't control myself. It was a whole bag of jelly beans, Swedish fish. Oh, they were so good. Anyway, I digress. So I want to talk about the energy body because it's really important to listen to your body now. This spread of the coronavirus is acting as like an agent of fill in the blank. I don't want to say an agent of death or anything like that. Excuse me. But it's acting as an agent of a major wake up call. And it's like, I think of like Paul Revere or the stories they told you about, just like somebody riding ahead of a storm and announcing like it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. The sounds and the alarms have already gone off. This is playing out in real time. We're living through this. And in all fairness, in this game of life, instead of blaming why is this happening and oh my God, they're trying to kill us and oh my God, instead of going down that road, we can see that and acknowledge that. But how many movies and TV shows and things have you seen where you've been warned that this is going to happen? I mean, I want to say it was bound to happen. I hate to say it that way, but as this story unfolds, I found myself questioning my higher self, saying, hey, where's the fairness in so the bad guys, this is strictly looking at it from a duality point of view. It's like, well, if the bad guys are trying to wipe out 2/3 of the population, or they're releasing this or whatever, if there is like a negative thing that's going on, or it was maliciously intended to cull the population, if that is true, even still, where are the good guys? If you're hearing the victory to the light, love and light have won, and don't worry, and you're always protected, and you hear the opposite end of it on this side. So you have your duality opposing the complementary forces, right? Where's the fairness from the good guys? Where's the light and love for people to give them the hope, like the financial reset, or the technology that can be used for healing, or a free energy source, or whatever? Where's all the stuff? If we agreed to all this, if this is their last ditched effort and their backs are up against the wall, and this is sort of like, okay, all the evil's being ejected from the planet and they won't be allowed to live here. You've heard all these things. If you're watching this channel, you've heard all these things before, and yet you're sitting here waiting, going, why do they keep delaying this? Why do they keep delaying? Okay, so try to suspend that for a little bit. See that as like a chess game. So there's a chess game going on, and you can tell when there's only a couple moves left, right? It's like that's when the dominoes start falling, is when you're on the defensive, and that's all you can do. And sometimes you have to make a defensive, in chess, you have to make like a defensive sacrifice so that you can put yourself in a position where you're now on the attack. Anyway, typical chess, right? So imagine a chess game being played on a multiple level board. So like each level is another dimensional aspect to this chess game. And so one of the moves in the chess game, might have lasted a long time for the cabal, or whatever you want to call them, the dark hats, the bad guys, whatever, the controllers. So one of their moves could have lasted like a decade or two or whatever. But see, as the timelines, everything's collapsing further and further, the chess game is getting to the real meat. It's getting to the real story where we can see the surface of everything playing out. So it's not just everything that's under, it's everything that's above. It's a multi-dimensional chess game. And it has to be one move at a time, even though there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in multiple areas. That's a build. Everything's building and building. So as the domino goes down and knocks down the other domino in life, as it unfolds in front of you, it's like a carpet unrolling. So as life is happening like this and we're watching it playing out in time, it's not happening in a multi-dimensional sense where you have 360 degree eyesight, 360 degrees around sight. It's not happening in the now moment. It's happening on a linear timeline, being expressed as one after the other. So as this virus continues to touch everybody's lives and continues to spread and get worse, and worse in a sense of perception from a 3D perspective only, doesn't necessarily mean worse, because in order for us to get from this point to this point to this point to this point, these things have to happen. So if this was a chess move and this was a chess move and this was a chess move, but in order to get to this next hand, which, you could say is, the building back up of society, the healing of society, the building back up of society, the foundations have to be laid in pure love, light, goodness, integrity, honesty, everything that we want it to be. You have to clean out the infection. And it's a terrible thing to say it, that this virus is part of that, but it's playing a part also on the multidimensional level of waking people up, because you start to see scenarios where you've seen apocalyptic movies or different things about a virus wiping out so much of the population. And when you come to the realization that could be happening in your life, you could be seeing the very beginning of something like this. You can either go down the path of, oh my God, and panic and go through that whole fear thing, or you can go, yeah, that's a possibility. So is this virus not being as bad. And then there's a part of you inside that knows you're not hearing everything on the news. You could be hearing overhype, or you could be hearing the beginning of something that they already know is far more terrible, and you're only hearing that part. See, we don't really know until we see how the collective responds and chooses to respond. And this does come down to a free will, physical choice. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't have something important to say about your free will, sovereignty, and your choice, because it does play a role. And here's how. As you are looking at your field, your own energy, your own bioenergetic field, and you are choosing to eat the right foods that you can right now, get some extra vitamin C, things like that, some blueberries, get a bunch of blueberries and freeze them, put them in the freezer bag, just have them, like blueberries, power food. That's just what my higher self was telling me. You don't have to do that. That's one of the things I was guided to do. So blueberries can't hurt, right? As you're putting that into your body and you're getting proper rest and you're drinking purified water, as you're doing these things, if you find yourself waking up to a world that's the next step in this is coming true, this is really happening, how are you responding inside? Are you at the center of your energy field? Are you at the center point of the storm that's going on all around you? Is your energy still on the inside? Are you the calm in the middle? Or are you being whipped around and picked up by the tornado on the outside, being thrown this way and that way and this way and that way, and you have no control and everything is an emotional reaction to everything else? If you are in that state and you feel like life is carrying you this way, you have no control over that, and you are going to be responding with emotional turmoil. And you are also going to be affecting other people. And you might be considered toxic to other people. Let's just be honest. So, in saying in the most loving way that I can possibly say, I've been saying this a very long time, and sometimes I'm sure it comes across as ego-based, and I'm sure it has in the past, an ego-based plea for people to wake up or just take a look at yourself on the inside. You hear these cliches. But it's so important now to realize you are the master of your domain. You and only you are responsible for everything inside your energetic field to be able to grow up and become the true master of your own field. Get to know who you truly are on the inside, meaning the energy and everything that you put out. You are responsible for your personal field. And deep down inside, you know this. Everybody watching knows that. But when it's time to wake up, if you're in that state where the storm's going on all around you and you feel like you have no control over your life, and you try to control other people, or you try to take control back by being like, say, a boss instead of a leader, or you just try to be somebody that's controlling other people because you don't have control over your own life, or you have emotional reactions to things, everything is drama in your life. If that's how you're living, it's got to be tiring to keep that up. It's got to be uncomfortable. It's got to be hard to rest and lay your head down at night and get a good night's sleep and see that other world in your dreams, to really wake up, have the dream awakening, and be a part of that world. It's got to be physically exhausting. And so I would like to invite you to get to know yourself from the inside without the input from the outside. Try to see that energy bubble as like a tube around you. It's a tube of light. It's very real. And you can be in the very center of that. You can choose whether to participate in this drama or that drama, or involve your energy, invest your energy into that story or this story. And just because someone thinks something about you or comes at you, you can choose whether to let it into your field or not. You can interact without letting something into your field. And when you become the master of your own energy field, stuff that's coming in at you, you don't have to take that. You don't have to let that control you. You don't have to emotionally respond to that. Now, as far as that goes with the coronavirus, I was just giving just a little quick dissertation, I guess. Oh, sorry, not sorry. A quick little dissertation on how to really wake up and know that you are in control of your own field. Now, your field, when you're in the presence of somebody else who has a field that is in control, they're the master of their domain. When you meet somebody else, I'm going to give you this. This was given to me. This was shown to me in a dream state that was an awakened dream state. And I met with someone of a higher dimensional being who showed me a handshake and showed me in the future, not long from now, how it's going to be when we greet people. And this could be way after the virus. This could be during the virus. It depends when you meet up with someone, if they're aware of this handshake or not. And I was not asked to keep it quiet, so I'm sharing it with everybody. And you know, whether you use it or not, you'll meet somebody at some point that'll do the same thing that you do. And when they do that, and they're consciously working with you, what it does is it's going to, your energy field and their energy field. So say this is your energy field here, and you meet up with somebody else and it's their energy field. Normally there would be a little intermingling of the, sometimes you bump up against people, right? But sometimes there's like a little intermingling when you're talking to people. What this handshake will do is, with intention behind it too, is when you shake somebody's hand, at the same time that you shake their hand, you're also grabbing their wrist. So it would be like, if I'm shaking a hand and they would grab my wrist here, like that. So if I'm shaking your hand, imagine that you're putting your hand out to me, and I also grab your wrist, and you're doing the same thing to me, shaking my hand and grabbing my wrist. So it looks like a little, So anyway, it doesn't matter what it looks like, because what it's doing is, when you're connecting your energy, the shake and the grab are at the same time. Okay? Shake and grab, and once down. And so, and it's done with a power. It's a very quick move. It's like cha-ching, even faster. Like, instead of a 2-syllable word, it's like a 1-syllable word. It's just like a boom, what happens is it breaks open, your energy fields together. Like you join your fields, and the walls come down. And what that's doing is you're creating an exponentially bigger, when two candles come together, how the light's bigger. What that's doing is it's bringing these bubbles together of worked on presence of soul. And when you're bringing two awakened souls together in the same energy space, it's exponentially bigger. But that's not just the thing, though. As these handshakes continue, you can separate the fields, but you'll always have that link. If you need to separate, if you're traveling, but the filaments that you choose to stay connected, you can, or you can just sever them when you're done. When you separate, it's by intention. But having that higher vibrational energy, this is something for anybody who's awakened, who's watching this. And I'm saying advanced because you're the ones that have graduated or are getting the graduation very soon, and you'll just know. When you've graduated and it's like your crown's open and your maybe not all your powerhouse angel type gifts are on. Maybe you're not fully awakened in that sense yet because you're waiting on the solar flash for that one. That's fine. But if you're still awake and aware in here and in full control of your energy field most of the time, you'll know if you graduated, and you'll just know. You can identify it. Most likely you can already identify other people's energy signatures, so you know when you're alone and the thoughts aren't yours. You'll know when you're conversing with other beings. You'll be able to identify that kind of thing. You'll also be sort of like, I know that my powers, my gifts, my abilities are there, but they're not turned on yet for a reason. And you'll know that you keep trying to practice. You're doing it as if what you're doing right now, you're healing somebody instantly. You're sending out that healing gift and you're seeing them healed. But maybe that's not manifesting in the 3D yet. And you're not kicking yourself anymore. You're not saying, oh, I don't know if I believe this anymore. You just know that it is real because you've awakened in the dream state to the real world where all of that really does happen. So those beings that are watching this, those beautiful souls watching that, congratulations on your graduations. Your throat chakras have now had a wider opening than even before. There's been all kinds of healings taken out, which is interesting. The lungs, and I don't really know that they're connected to the throat chakra, but I felt something come up and out through the lungs and through the throat chakra. So maybe somebody else has an experience like that. If you want to share it in the comments, that would be great. I should just do a live one of these days. I feel like I could just keep talking on a live, and this video is going to be pretty long. So anyway, I should probably wrap it up, but I just wanted to say that you truly are the master of your own domain. And if you choose to take a nap on the job, that's your choice. But the wake-up call has been, the clarion call has been sounded, and the wake-up alarms and bells have all gone off. And, snooze is disabled. So it's time to really pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to your heart and the thoughts that is generated by your own heart and the thoughts that are coming to you that are not yours. Figure out that part, that much, and you'll have more guidance than you have ever had in your life on the outside. You'll have so much more truth that resonates. Excuse me. You'll be speaking your truth. You won't be afraid of what judgments are coming at you, but you'll be speaking your truth to help those that might just need to hear what you have to say. So spread what you know, shine your light bright, combine it with other like-minded individuals, and just keep going. Enjoy the show. Pop that popcorn and be ready for anything. Being prepared is a good thing. It's okay. Everything is okay. And you're going to be just fine. I love you all. And I will be back soon. See you next time.